Hello and welcome to another Pokemon Showdown live video. I'm not Orangejuice, and today we're gonna go through some Uber battles. The first of which we're going to be going against People's Dude, which is a very unique name, if I may say so. And looking at his team, it's basically just a pretty offensive, fast-paced team. So I think I'm just going to lead up with Genesect because everybody leads with Genesect. And he was probably expecting that, all things considered, but well, the Genesect scarfed like most other Genesects in the Uber metagame, so I'm just gonna go for the U-turn, and if it decides to hit this Mewtwo, then it's going to do a lot of damage. And if the Mewtwo switches out, which is probably more probable, then I don't know, I'll still be doing some damage, so we'll see. And not to mention Genesect got the attack boost from the download, so that's cool too. And actually the Mewtwo ate its Tanga Berry. I've never seen that before. And this is pretty interesting. So the U-turn's power was halved, so now Mewtwo can probably set up or something. So that's pretty scary. I could go into my Deoxys attack and do something, but I think I'm going to go into my Groudon, set the weather up while it does something. It goes for the Psy Strike but doesn't do that much because it's affecting my physical defense, which Groudon has a lot of, basically. And now I'm just going to go for the Stealth Rocks, and that's going to put a dent in his Rayquaza as well as the Shaman Sky. Now in comes the Ice Beam, doesn't kill me actually, so that's pretty surprising. And now I can just basically sack this Groudon, I think, because I don't think it's going to be doing that much else, really. But just in case, I'm gonna go for the Fire Punch. I think it's more reliable than Earthquake, and that he would probably be expecting the Earthquake. Now I'm gonna go back into Genesect and just go for a U-turn, because now I'm pretty sure it's going to kill the Mewtwo. And he probably knows this and is probably going to switch out into something. Perhaps the Blaziken. Nope, he just decides to sack the Mewtwo because, hey, that's pretty cool, right? No. I think I might go into perhaps my Deoxys, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do that because we have no idea what he's going to do. Now, assuming this is a semi-standard team at the very least, it's going to have one Scarfer, I think, right? And by the looks of it, it's going to be probably his Zekrom, if I'm not mistaken. Because everything else is, I don't know, pretty fine by itself. Shaman Sky has that 127 something something blah blah blah. And everything else blah 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 blah. And in comes the Arceus, and I'm sort of scared of the extreme speed, but sadly, I don't have the Focus Sash, so if an extreme speed does decide to come my way, I would die. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go for the low kick and hope that Arceus goes for the Sword Stance. So I'm just going to go for the low kick, and it hits, and the Arceus goes down. So that was some nice prediction on my part, I think. And I don't know, I haven't really seen anyone else use low kick on Deoxys, so just putting that out there, just saying I'm very, very special. Now in comes the Shaman Sky, and I can just go for the Ice Punch because I'm faster anyway, and I don't know, is People's Dude messing up slightly, maybe? I don't know. In comes the Blaziken, and right now I'm still faster than the Blaziken, so I can safely go for the Thunder Punch as Blaziken apparently goes for the Protect. And now that Blaziken's faster because of the speed boost, I'll just go for an extreme speed before I... Okay, actually a crit extreme speed is going to kill the Blaziken, so that's a bit unfortunate for him. And now in comes the Zekrom, and if my earlier prediction is correct, this thing is scarfed, right? So I'm just gonna go for an Ice Punch, see what happens, and I'm still faster, so apparently his team doesn't have a Scarfer. The Zekrom apparently had a red card, so it forces my switch into my Genesect, and I don't know. I'm just in this situation where I have my Genesect in and I don't really have anything to do. So you know what? I'm just gonna explode because exploding is fun. Let's take the Zekrom down along with the super massive explosion thing. And let's just save Kirim, Arceus, and Ho-Oh for another match, and let's just finish up the match with Deoxys, which, now that I think about it, will probably not be possible because Rayquaza has that extreme speed. So that was weird. The Rayquaza actually has Protect, which is really weird because, I don't know, in my opinion, that's a bit of a waste of a move slot, so I don't know. And it doesn't even have extreme speed, and the Yache Berry won't help it, and my Deoxys attack basically murders what's left of the Rayquaza, and yeah, things went quite oddly there. Anyway, let's go look for another battle, with the same team, of course. And yeah, this might take a while, so I'll be right back. Alright, we're back, and this is a very scary team. Let me just start on that note. Because, one, he has all of the following: Dialga, Palkia, Giratina, and of course, to top it all, the Arceus. And then he has the super defensive stuff like Groudon and Lugia, especially Lugia. So I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with this team, but let's act before we think. Let's go lead with the Genesect as the Palkia comes in. And I really want to go to the explosion because this Palkia is going to be a nuisance the whole match. But instead I'm just going to go for the U-turn, and it actually does a lot of damage, so I don't know. I'm going to go into my Groudon now, and I'm expecting like a water move coming this way. Nope, a Spatial Rend, and it's still enough to do enough damage such that I'm, you know, pretty scared. So I might as well just go back into Genesect because I'll be able to resist the Spatial Rend as well as kill the Palkia the following turn. And I think the Palkia is Scarfed or Specs. I'm not sure which because I can't determine that from what happened to my Groudon because I'm a huge ding-dong. Anyway, I'm gonna bring my Genesect back in, and actually it's not Scarfed or anything really. It goes for the Outrage, and it doesn't kill me because, well, I'm a Steel type, and I'm just gonna go for another U-turn as Palkia is trapped in here due to the Outrage, so that's one annoying thing out of the way, I guess. Not to mention Palkia is a giant penis. Don't Google that, please. I think I'm going to go back to my Groudon because my Groudon is amazing. Well, sort of. Relatively. Relative to what? I don't know. You tell me. And yeah, the battle seems to be going quite well so far. And you know you're doing something wrong when your name is too long to fit in the Showdown thing. Acceleration mode! Yes, yes. Now I'm just gonna go for the Earthquake and do it. Oh my god! Jesus Christ! The Earthquake just straight out killed the Dialga because I don't know. What was the Dialga trying to go for? Groudon's pretty slow, or is it? Does it have 90 base speed? I don't know. Anyway, in comes the Lugia, and I don't want it to start setting up or anything, so I'm just gonna go for the Dragon Tail as it goes for the Ice Beam, crits and kills me, and I'm pretty sure that crit mattered because Lugia is not that much of an offensive attacker unless this is an offensive Lugia, which why would you have that? And now I'm going to go into my Specs Kyurem White because one, it's the best thing to counter Lugia, and two, everything in his team seems to at least take well, Groudon, Lugia, and Giratina all take super effective damage to it. I still don't know what type the Arceus is, but you know where I'm going with this. I'm just gonna go for an Ice Beam. In comes the Groudon, and it's going down because Specs Kyurem White has possibly one of the highest attack anythings in the whole game, I think. And yeah, hold on a second. And welcome back. I had just gotten a phone call, so that explains the little delay we had there. And I'm just gonna keep going for Ice Beam as Arceus goes for the extreme speed, doesn't even do half, and the Ice Beam's going to take the Arceus down to pretty low. And I'm actually going to switch out at this point because if Arceus goes for another extreme speed, then I'd be low enough such that Giratina can go for a Shadow Sneak and kill the Kyurem. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my own Arceus, and Arceus actually goes for the Shadow Force, so perfect timing. I can just set up a Sword Stance at this point because, hey, I mean, what better to set up on, really? And it seems the opposing Arceus is faster than me, so I'm just putting that out there because if we both go for extreme speed, he's gonna go first. But mine's not gonna die, and yours is, so I'm going to go for the extreme speed, except you're probably going to bring in Giratina, but I don't care because I'm just going to go for the extreme speed. As you go for the extreme speed, do less than half damage to me. And now your Arceus is dead because my Arceus is better. Arceus, 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 Arceus. We're moving on. In comes the Giratina Origin, and I'm just going to go for the Shadow Claw because Shadow Claw should do a decent amount. Why would you go for Shadow Sneak in any given situation, you stupid little dongo? I'm gonna go for another Shadow Claw as he goes for another Shadow Sneak because he is still a stupid little dongo. And if you're watching this, please, I did not mean to offend you as such. But now he's already been offended and he has left the battle. He has forfeited, and I think we're going to have to find one more battle. And let's do that. And this might, again, take a while, and so, yeah, I'll be right back. Hello, we're back, and that took a shit ton of time. And also, that team looks pretty intimidating because everything's shiny. And yeah, let's move on. I'm going to lead off with my Genesect here, and let's sing a song while he gets ready, she gets ready, they get ready, we get ready. Ooh-hoo-hoo, woo. Oh my god, I should really work on my commentary because everything's falling to pieces from top to bottom. Anyway, in comes the Ho-Oh, and I don't need to really tell you for you to know that this is a very bad matchup. So I'm going to U-turn out, and unless the Ho-Oh is scarfed, I should be fine. Yes, I'm going to switch out now into something that can take a Sacred Fire because the Sacred Fire is probably incoming. So I'll probably go into my own Ho-Oh, who isn't shiny. Oh, never mind, my Ho-Oh is shiny. And because the Ho-Oh went for the Earthquake, I'm pretty fine and dandy. I actually didn't take any damage despite me coming in expecting a Sacred Fire. I'm gonna go for a Brave Bird because Brave Bird hurts. And you know what they say, when in doubt, just go for Brave Bird. And I have indeed gone for Brave Bird, and the recoil hurts, but holy shit, that Ho-Oh did 69% damage to me. And, yeah, 69's funny. Now I'm just gonna go for another Brave Bird and knock out that Ho-Oh, and I'm left at pretty little HP, and I'm pretty surprised I actually decided to survive that because this thing is a Ho-Oh. And it has Regenerators, so I could decide to switch out right now and preserve it, but as you can see right now, my Ho-Oh is actually scarfed, so I'm not sure how much of an impact that's going to have. And assuming the Toxic's coming or something like that, I'm just gonna go into my Lugia Killer, my Kyurem White, and the Aeroblast comes this way actually, and that's pretty scary. But you know how the drill is. I'm just going to go for an Ice Beam. It hits everything for super effective damage except that Keldeo, who happens to be the most annoying member of his team right now, surprisingly, despite being the only OU member of his team. So that's quite ironic. I'm just going to go for the Ice Beam, and the Lugia is going to go for the Substitute. And I just realized its nickname, and yeah, good job. Good job to you. And I go for the Ice Beam, and despite Lugia being a bulky monster son of a bitch with huge defensive stats up your ass, it's going to die to one of my Ice Beams because Ice Beam is one of the more beautiful things in the entire world. Now, in comes Hidden Power Flying, who happens to be a Keldeo, so that's pretty convenient. I'm just going to go into my Groudon as I set up the sun, and the Sacred Sword isn't going to do pretty much anything at all, really. And I could go for the Stealth Rocks or the Dragon Tail, and I think I'm going to go for the Stealth Rocks because it's going to hurt the rest of his team quite a lot. Not really, but in particular that Rayquaza, if it decides to be more annoying later on. And I'm pretty much going to sack my Groudon, and I'm just going to go for the Earthquake, and the Hydro Pump's indeed going to kill the Groudon, and the Groudon has burrowed its way back into the earth where it came from. Now, I think I can go into maybe Ho-Oh and go for another Brave Bird because, yes, reiterating the quote of the day, When in doubt, go for Brave Bird. And the Brave Bird kills the hidden power flying, I mean the Keldeo. And the Ho-Oh's still alive even after the recoil, so Regenerator Ho-Oh, use it, because it's good. And in comes the Zekrom, and I think it's time that our Ho-Oh is put to rest because switching into something isn't the best idea right now, and Ho-Oh has done its job. So for the last time, when in doubt, go for Brave Bird. And despite it being resisted, it still did well, 17% isn't anything at all, really. But you did a nice job. Now, I could go into my Kyurem White, or I could go into my Deoxys. I'm going to go into my Deoxys because it's a sort of expendable member at this point. I'm just going to try to kill this Zekrom. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and yeah, things are pretty good right now. I go for the Ice Punch, and it's not going to kill. But I knock him down low enough so that he can't make a substitute, so that's awesome. I can now just go for another Ice Punch, and the Zekrom's going to be dead. And everything else is weak to ice, so I can just keep spamming Ice Punch at this point, even to that Giratina. And the sad thing is, if it has Will-O-Wisp, I might be a slight bit of a pickle. Actually, Draco Meteor is just going to kill me, so never mind, whatever. Now I'm just going to go back into my Kyurem White so I can start spamming Ice Beam again, because it's what he does best, you know. And yeah, go for it. Go, Kyurem White. Yes, in goes the Ice Beam into the Giratina, shoving it back into the distortion world where it belongs. Just kidding, I like Giratina. Now in comes the final countdown, no. In comes the final Pokemon, the Black Rayquaza, and an Ice Beam should be taking it out, right? Am I faster? Maybe. I'm just gonna go for Ice Beam. And Extreme Speed, why do you even bother? My Kyurem White's not going to die to a little speed. But anyway, that was GG. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, a comment, or a subscription. I'm not Orangejuice, and I will be seeing you next time. Hopefully. Maybe.